I think it's important to understand if you're the type of person that goes 0 to 100, to learn how to create boundaries, to learn how to stand up for yourself in the moment. And because for me personally, me growing up, I either was at 0 or 100, and I allowed people to bully me or to intimidate me or to take my power or my energy away, because I felt like if I did go off, it was going to be 100, and I didn't want to allow myself to go there. And now, me as an individual, if something affects me, I'm not afraid to speak up about it in that moment, or I'm not afraid to circle back around and say what I need to say, or just completely let it go. Because when you're a type of person that goes from 0 or to 100, you internalize a lot and you feel things alone. And most of the time you don't validate your emotions, you just let it bottle up until it explodes. And I think it's important to understand that that is taking more power than it should from you. I think it's important to understand the boundaries that you need to set in order to protect yourself in the right way. Because when you bottle up and you go from 0 to 100, when you get to that point where you're at 100, sometimes people are not worth that energy. Sometimes people are not worth your 100. And not even sometimes, at no point is somebody worth your 100. I think it's important to learn how to feel and filter your emotions in the right way, and nurture your emotions to where you are being seen by yourself, you are being heard, and you are being validated, self-validated, and you are regulating your emotions to where you are at one with yourself and at peace internally. And so I think it's important to understand if something happens that affects you, to feel through that, to write in your journal, or to allow yourself to just meditate on it, looking up the vagus nerve or looking up guided meditation surrounding suppressed anger or whatever the case may be, and feel through that and allow yourself to feel through that and nurture your emotions, and also speak up when you need to speak up and not hold back because you're afraid of conflict, or because you don't want to see yourself on 10. Because at the end of the day, when you hold things in, you're going to at some point be on 10. It's inevitable to happen. When you don't deal with your emotions, they're going to come to the surface at some point. And I think it's important to deal with your emotions so that you're not giving people so much power over you in your day-to-day life. And so I think it's important to understand when it comes to being the type of person that goes from 0 to 100, to learn yourself and understand yourself and start to feel safe within your emotions, and start to learn how to express yourself. And how you learn how to express yourself is starting to do so, no matter how it comes out. If you stutter, stutter. If you feel anxious, if you feel anxiety when you speak up anyways. And after you speak up, go and do a vagus nerve meditation or breath work surrounding vagus nerve, and feel through it in that way. But never hold things in when you understand that it's something that needs to be spoken up about. If you've already meditated about it, if you've already wrote down something in your journal and it still is affecting you, that's because it's time for you to speak up for yourself. There's a time and a place for everything, and nothing should be bottled up in your energy, because life is too short to hold on to anger, resentment, or fear, or worries, or negativity. And I think it's important to understand to not shy away from that or run away from those topics, but feel them so that you can truly release it and let it go, and so that you can truly step into who you are as an individual. Because there's nothing wrong with feeling anger. If you feel anger, allow yourself to feel what you feel so that you can release it in a healthy way, in a clean, and create clean anger to where you have passion for what you do, or for where you take that clean anger and you speak up for yourself with confidence and conviction, and you create that boundary that needs to be set in that relationship, or you create the boundary for yourself and allow yourself to say no to yourself sometimes as well. Because I think it's important to understand, when it comes to your emotions, it's not about making other people feel what you feel. It's about you feeling it so that it doesn't get stuck in your energy, so that it doesn't get stuck to where you are now creating or attracting more situations to where you have a blocked throat chakra because you're not speaking up enough for yourself, or where you have a blocked sacral chakra because you're not feeling what you need to feel enough, or having a blocked heart chakra because you're not allowing yourself to express or open up because you're afraid of judgment, or you're afraid of somebody not being reciprocal, not reciprocating and giving back what you give. It's important to learn how to create boundaries to protect yourself, but also to be able to stay open and having equal give and take in relationships, but also understanding too, everybody does not deserve your energy. So by you feeling your emotions is what is going to give you that clarity on who you need to speak up to and who you don't, who doesn't deserve your energy. It's about understanding who is worth your time and your energy. Because sometimes when it comes to bullies, they just need to be ignored. But sometimes when it comes to bullies, you have to speak up and say what you need to say, so that you make it clear that they need to get out of your way. The only time you need to speak up or say something is if somebody is directly in your way from what you need to do. If they're not, then they're irrelevant. And I think that's important to understand. But I think it's important to understand, if you're a person that goes from 0 to 100 to take your power and your energy back when it first happens. So if something affects you and you feel through it and you meditate through it and you pray about it and you journal, and it's still something that's on your chest, something on your chest that you need to speak up about it, speak up about it. If you have to, write down what you want to say and then remember that and say it in that conversation, and don't allow them to take the conversation anywhere but what you want to speak about. And I think that's important to understand too, when it comes to hard conversations, to stay on topic. And if the topic goes from what you intended to talk about, then redirecting that conversation back to what you were talking about and staying on topic. Don't allow somebody, because that's where the manipulation comes in. When you have a conversation with somebody and they start talking about something else, either redirect it, and if they don't redirect it with you, then stop talking to them, point blank, period. And I think that's important to understand, because your energy is important. Your energy, your attention is a part of your power. So I think it's important to understand to not allow people to play on it or waste your time or your attention span by trying to manipulate you or take your power or your energy, or manipulate you by using your emotions against you. That's why I think it's important to become the master of your emotions. And how you master your emotions is by being the observer of your emotions and feeling them in a nurturing way. If something comes up, allowing yourself to feel that thing. But feeling your emotions doesn't mean, like I said, trying to make somebody else validate them. It's about self-validate. It's about self-validation when it comes to your emotions. And when you are connecting or talking to somebody else or expressing your emotions to somebody else, it's not for them to validate or confirm what you feel. It's for you to validate and confirm what you feel and speak up anyways, using your voice to advocate for yourself anyways, whether somebody is listening to you or not. And I think that's important to understand. And that's why I think it's important to feel your emotions and nurture your emotions, but also be real and honest with yourself and not sugarcoat things with yourself, or put rose-colored glasses on for yourself, or blinders on for yourself as well. Truly see yourself for who you are and allow yourself to be uncomfortable with that so that you can really change at a core level, so that you can grow as an individual, and so that other people can't use or abuse or manipulate you, because there's parts of you that you don't see that they do see. There's parts of you that you don't see that they do see, and they're using it in their favor to manipulate or control you in some way. I think it's important to see yourself fully, see your so-called good and your so-called bad, so that you can grow as an individual, so that you understand your weaknesses and your strengths. That way other people can't manipulate you with either one of those. And I think that's important to understand when it comes to connections, really understanding yourself so that when you step into connections, nothing can be used against you, but also you know how to create boundaries surrounding those connections, and you know how to stand up for yourself in those connections, but you also know how to be protective but also open for those relationships as well, for the relationships that do deserve your love and your care and your compassion. Being open and being closed off to people that don't deserve your connection or your attention or your energy.